Hi guys, so today we're having a look at something from Jason Wu Cosmetics, which were added to Beauty Bay recently. So this is the Magic Matte Oil. It's £19 for 20 millilitres. It does come in a box, which has this kind of like with and without picture. So you can see she's a little bit shiny on the without side. It is cruelty free, PEGs free, sulfate free, paraben free, vegan, phthalate free, synthetic fragrance free, and talc free. It says it's a lightweight primer, transforms your face from oil slick to matte magic in seconds, wear it alone or as a makeup primer. It is a silicone based primer. What I'm finding a bit strange is after I filmed this application section, I suddenly realised that this isn't like an ombre bottle. It's actually the product seems to be a little bit separated. Nowhere on any of the packaging or on the Beauty Bay listing does it say to shake it before use. So I'm assuming that because it's a dropper and you're down at the bottom, you'll still get that bit anyway. But what we'll do is, if this doesn't work out very well today, we'll shake it tomorrow and try it again. But yeah, it's quite an expensive product, but we'll see how it goes. We've got the application section and we'll do a wear test. We are comparing it with a more traditional silicone style primer, so let's see how this goes. Right, so I've done my skincare, like my moisturiser and things. We're going to put on the Jason Wu mattifying oil first, because the instructions are to allow this to set down before you do your foundation. And then I'm going to do one heck of a blot on the left hand side of my face, just so we've got a little bit to compare. So this looks so watery. The instructions literally are dab on a few drops with fingertips on your face, allowed to set for applying makeup. So this is a very different product for me, so bear with me. I'm just going to do 2 drops because we're only doing half my face, and that it feels like it vanished. Oh god, it's halfway down my it's dropped down between my fingers. Okay. I'm literally trying to retrieve it from like in here now so that there's enough on my face. It's so confusing. It genuinely feels like I'm rubbing nothing onto my face. And I've possibly used too much now, but I don't know. Okay. Oh, back to the familiar. The one heck of a blot is a mattifying primer from Soap and Glory. And, you know, it's just your typical silicone feeling primer. So the Jason Wu, it says you can wear it on its own, just a kind of skincare thing to control your oil, or as a primer. But let's see. So foundation wise, I've still been reaching for this filter finish from B that we reviewed a couple of weeks ago. So I'm just going to go with that because that's what's in my head, that I know it's how it performs with one heck of a blot. So we'll go with that. Let's see how this works out. I don't know why I'm so nervous. But yeah, maybe a tiny bit of a tacky feeling to my skin, but nothing major. And the foundation is just gliding on, it's not really grabbing in any noticeable way. Because sometimes when you get a really tacky primer, you go to blend and you can just see that it's like gripping the pigment, which is not a bad thing. I mean, you want your primer to give you long wear and everything else, so grip is a key word there. So yeah, this spot is horrible. Just pretend that isn't happening. Okay. There's really high pollen levels where I am just now, so you'll probably hear a few more sneezes. Because we all have hay fever. Okay. Just going to zoom in and have a look at the skin finish. We're not perfect yet because we go in with concealer and everything, but this is the One Heck of a Blot side and this is the Jason Wu side. I will say the Jason Wu looks far more like natural skin just now, which is appealing, but we'll see kind of how it does wear wise as well. Because to be honest with you, once I've wore a foundation for a while, it starts to look a bit more natural anyway because of my oil breaking through. But if this turns out to be the magic product that controls my oil, I will have no objection to not having oil to settle my foundation down a bit. So I'm just doing a little bit more coverage on my nose because it needed it. Sure I get up in my hairline, my blue hairline. Okay, so I doubt this will make much of a difference with concealers and things, but we'll see anyway. So I've got the NYX Dark Circle Concealing Corrector. And then I've got my Revolution concealer, and I've literally just pulled out the little filter bit today because it was getting to the stage where it was difficult to get much product out. So I popped this out with tweezers and I'm just going to use what's stuck on it. Even when it's an affordable product, I don't really want to waste it. Who would want to waste product? So yeah, so this is just the bit that sits in there, and you can see there's hundreds of product left. But yesterday I was literally struggling to get anything to come out on the applicator. So I hope that's something that everybody knows, that you can pop those bits out and then there's usually hundreds of product left. Yeah. As in literally you can be sitting struggling to get product out and then it'll still be like a couple of weeks before you actually have to buy like a replacement. If it's a product that you use every day, like concealer. If it's a lip gloss, then God, you're going for months probably. Again, unless it's your every day. Oh my god, I'm rambling. See, this is what happens. You stop filming for a little while and you lose the habit, the skill level, the small talk ability. Make sure I get that little side bit. And then let's just conceal the heck out of my jaw. Let's just not have a jaw. Bye. Okay, so yeah, same thing with the concealer. The Jason Wu side looks more natural skin like. I don't imagine that's going to change when I set this. I didn't bring my powder over. I'll be right back. I love powder. I can't believe I forgot my powder. That's... Right, I'm still just using the RCMA because I have a gigantic tub of it and it's great. And nobody's brought anything out lately that's competed with it, so yay. At least I've not tried any loose powders lately. So, still just loving this one. I think there was actually one in the Jason Wu release on Beauty Bay, but I'm a bit shorter on funds, so I had to choose. And I chose Magic! AKA the Magic Matte Oil that we're testing today. And yes, I just kind of gave up on concealing that spot. It's horrible. Okay, so one last zoom in. Still looking a bit more lightweight and natural. Not quite as pronounced now that the powder is on. Time wise for the wear test, it is 11. So we will see how good this guy does. Right, so I thought I'd come back for a little check-in. It is 4:15, so we've had about 5 hours wear so far. We're actually looking pretty good. We've got a little bit of oil breaking through, which is why I wanted to come and check in with you. So, zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. So this is the Soap and Glory side, and this is the Jason Wu side. And I have to say, currently, less oily. Not as noticeable on, say, my nose, which is still pretty oily on both sides. It is my worst oily area. But, you know, kind of seeing a difference on the cheeks. Chin's pretty equal. Forehead, pretty equal. So on my majorly oily areas, it's working just as well. And on my less oily areas, it's working better. So stay tuned. We will see what continues to happen throughout the day. I have a little bit more powder because I love it. And yeah, I still think maybe I should try this shaken up. Because look, it's like it's so separated. It's weird. Yeah, so I'll be back. We'll see if there's any other changes. Okay, so we are back. It is 5 to 11. Yep. And coverage wise, we are absolutely fine. Oil wise, I don't think there's too much in it this time. Zooming in, zooming in, zooming in, zooming in. So this is the Jason Wu side. Still shiny, 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 but covered. And the Soap and Glory side, shiny, shiny, shiny. Possibly actually less shiny, which is different from earlier. Chin looks fairly even. Forehead, pretty even. Maybe a tiny bit less than Soap and Glory side, but not, you know, enough. Not a huge difference. I don't know, I think I do need to give this one another shot because it just gets more and more obvious that this might have needed shaking before use. But like I said, it wasn't on the Beauty Bay website, it wasn't on the packaging, the box or the bottle. So I don't know. But yeah, I'm definitely going to give this another day so that we can shake it up. And yeah, I'm just powdering my face because I hate the feel of my oily skin. Yeah, so this one's going to get a day 2 of the wear test. and yeah, I'll be back. We'll see what happens. Right, I'm back with different eye makeup. So I had another go today and, you know, we gave it a shake just to see, and I'm going to be honest, I'm not really noticing any difference. I have powdered my face throughout today just because I was working and I didn't have time to run upstairs and film before I powdered, and I'm going to be honest, I didn't notice any real difference. I had to wear a mask earlier, so tip of my nose has worn off. That's not a reflection on the primer. So same as when this was unshook, it is on the left hand side of my face. The skin looks a little bit more natural, a bit more skin-like in texture. The oil control is pretty even, and we've still got the same amount of cover on both sides, apart from the mask area. So yeah, even though it's night time and I'm about to go and wash my makeup off, I still feel the urge to powder a little bit before I sit and talk to you, and break down my thoughts on this. So, performs just as well as other primers out there, so you know, I can't give it a negative mark for its efficacy. It is a pricier option than some of the other ones out there. You know, for example, these guys, the Revolution Niacinamide Mattifying Drops. And actually, if I had to choose between these two, I would choose these because they're skincare benefits. Why wouldn't you? And they're easier to apply. Because this is oily, it just ran between my fingers and I felt like I would probably used more of it than I needed because it was running away from where I needed to apply it. I had a look at the ingredients on this. The first thing was, oh look, the first ingredient isn't water. What? And that's because silicone is not soluble in water, so they had to use something else. It is listed as being a clean product. I'm not the most well informed about ingredients, but what I will say is this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 ingredients all in. So the first one was isododecane, which was basically a emollient solvent type product that works with silicone. And then there was isohexadecane, which is a synthetic ingredient with a powder-like finish. So that'll be what gives this the mattifying effect. After that there was silica, which is also a kind of smoothing, mattifying, common feature in primers generally. Water, more silica, phenoxyethanol, which I'm pretty sure is an alcohol. Phenoxyethanol is known as a glycol ether, or in other words a solvent, so solvent preservative. So that's all that's doing in there. And capryl glycol is the last ingredient, which is skin conditioning agent noted to have some antimicrobial ability. So what I get looking through those ingredients is I was kind of expecting this was going to have some kind of inbuilt skincare type features, that it was going to like work on your oily skin like magic, you know, magic matte oil, especially with the price. I wasn't really expecting some solvents, some water and some silicone. I was just expecting there to be a bit more going into this, which is why I say between the two, if I was wanting a primer that came out a dropper, this guy, because it actually has got skin beneficial ingredients. I guess the antimicrobial, which is the last ingredient in this, so has the smallest concentration, might help if you've got acne, but a lot of acne isn't to do with bacteria, it's to do with hormones, and it won't help there. So if you find that when you use primers your skin looks cakier and you don't like that, then yes, This gives a much more skin-like finish, but as you can probably see at a distance, there's not really anything in that. You have to be right up close before you can really notice it. So there is that. I don't see myself buying this again. I can't say it's a bad product because it does what it's meant to do. So, you know, I can't put it into the goodbye, so long, get out of here category. But I'm not overly thrilled at sending an hour and a half's wages on it. So if you've got any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you. I realised when I was editing Monday's video that I totally glossed over that yes, my hair is blue, and I never mentioned the reason I was off for a little while. I fell down some concrete stairs. I was totally sober. They were very, very poor condition stairs. Concrete was all crumbling away and there was lots of like loose stones on them, and I went down and I strained the ligaments in my wrist, so I was resting it. It was of course my right wrist and I'm right-handed, because why would the world make my life easy? So yeah, that's where I was. I wasn't really doing much in the way of makeup or excessive computer using to edit videos. I was trying to work one-handed, left-handed for an 8-hour shift already without trying to do this stuff. Plus, washing your hair when you've got a dodgy hand is really awkward. So anyway, hopefully I won't be having any more accidents and I'll be back to the regular scheduled programming. So if you've seen any unusual beauty products that you think I would have fun trying out, as long as they're cruelty free, let me know, because I haven't seen anything that unusual in a while and I like unusual. So I hope you guys have an awesome weekend and I will see you later. Bye.